People have been wanting a update on what's been happening in the studio, and so I've been, as you know, I've been working on automating some of the doors for the furnaces. I already have this blue furnace automated, and that's completed. Doors work very nicely, but I'm also enclosing the vent hood, which used to be just the hood, which is this thin little piece up above. But I'm enclosing it, creating a giant box, which will make the whole venting situation a lot more efficient. One thing that I haven't done yet is I'm going to enclose down low and on the sides, the little gaps here and over there. But before that happens, I have to install the pneumatic cylinders, which will be coming hopefully sometime this week or next week. And when they get here, I'll install them, and they will actually move a series of cables with pulleys. And it's a whole other system that has to be built. Basically a lever that's on a pivot with bearings underneath. It'll be a very smooth sort of system that will push and pull the doors open and closed when the pneumatic cylinder is activated. Anyway, that's yet to be done, but that's probably about another week's worth of work. Again, the cylinder for the blue furnace is all installed and done, and it works great. Actually, I've taken one of the hoses off, so I can't show it to you how it works. But I have a video that I posted on Instagram and I think on Facebook. These are the cables for the other two furnaces that are over here, the glory holes. Those are color-coded, which is kind of nice. One will be yellow, one will be red. The hood has two doors on each side, which I've built right there. No latches yet, lots of little details yet to go, but the main part of the work has been done. And then over here, really messy studio right now, but over here is actually really cool. This is a pickup box, which was originally designed with a cable that had a counterweight on the back. See, I built this years ago when I first built my studio. This was made, this counterweight back here. This is the counterweight that's leaning up against the wall. That was a 4-inch PVC tube that was capped on one end, holes drilled on the other for the cable to go through, and filled it with rocks, sand, and then even some lead weights. And so it made it so that it was a counterweight to this door, which was kind of actually pretty heavy. And so as you lifted this up, the cable would drop, and that tube, which was a counterweight, would then drop also, and it would make the door open and close kind of almost effortlessly. But it was always manual, and while I was waiting for these cylinders to arrive and having some snafus with the company not sending me the right stuff, I was able to locate a cylinder that had the right amount of movement, and I thought, well, why don't we just automate the pickup box also? So that's the lid to the pickup box, and on this cylinder, all right, this is the cylinder here. There are these controls. And so this is an air control, which will soften the flow of air into the cylinder. It's up above and below. These are the tubes that run to the foot control. And this actually was not here originally. This was not part of the original design. But I put it on earlier today as part of an earlier iteration of engineering this door, because it was coming up and sort of slamming. It was coming up to this point that was beyond what I call the balance point. So the balance point was that point where the door would come up straight up and down, parallel to this tower or this channel steel. And when it got to that point, it would lean back and then fall against this this member here, and then it wouldn't want to go back down because it was leaning backwards, you know. So I had to work that out, and one way to do that was to keep the door from even coming all the way back, which was why I put this in place and was building into it a kind of a simple spring action, which would keep the door from just slamming against this. Well, that worked great up to a certain point until I began to fine-tune this cylinder more and more and more until I realized I don't even need it. See, this is what happens as you're working on equipment. It's all, you know, it's all new. It's, you know, it's finding solutions to these problems, and then you actually make one of your solutions no longer necessary. So now, just later today, I was able to fine-tune everything so that I don't even need this member here. But the movement is really, really nice and smooth, and it's kind of cool. It only cost me like $150 to automate this door. So considering the fact that it cost me over $1,000 to do the blue furnace, this was cheap. Now watch. This is the foot pedal, which it's called a detented foot pedal, which means that it has a latch. It latches. So you push the pedal down all the way down, and it latches. So I don't even need to have my foot on the pedal because it's latched, right? And that's nice, smooth movement, by the way. And then I delatch it with my foot. Nice movement. Let's try that again. Yeah. So that's the new toy. That'll be really nice, because what that means is that instead of having to do this or having another person to stand there and open the door, all you need is a foot, which when you're blowing glass, your feet are what are free and your hands are full of blowpipes and stuff like that. Anyway, so I've gotten this to a point now where it's working really, really nice. And this was a cylinder that I found on my own. Another door for this vent hood, and then all the equipment is back in here. And I don't know if you can see it, probably can't. There's a fan, and all of this is going to be much more efficient now in terms of drawing the heat away. And I've got a piece of sheet metal which is going to protect and act like a radiator against the insulation here that's plastic, and then plastic covered with fiberglass insulation. Very hard to see in here, but that'll be really nice. Anyway, so that's the vent hood. That's the studio. Everything's really messy right now because I'm working on everything. But I'm really, really excited about these pieces of equipment. I've got probably another week or so to go, and most of this will be taken care of. And then at that point, I can start to clean up and actually blow some glass. So that's all the news that's fit the print, I guess. Thanks for watching.